It helps a good deal, I think, in the interest of sobriety. Um, Not to glamorize Donald Trump as Whistling Dixie, the man, the Southern gentleman, quick to his fists in defense of virtue, and so on. It helps to conceptualize Donald Trump much more accurately as a chemical train derailment that has produced a fireball and fumes deadly to children. And he's likewise his friends like Robert Fripp and King Crimson. It's very similar hysterics who prey on the frailty of the human desire for um, ordinary life, the ability to go to a grocery store unmolested, go to public library, go to a clinic without being set upon by Green Party decordery. The fumes of bellowing libels that emit from Ono and her queer crowd. This is a chemical toxic derailment mongered by the Broadway cast of Hair and Union and Zappa and the usual people who have gotten away with horrible acts for a long time. In the interest of sobriety, what I thought I would do is explain what the Texas school book does, has done to our culture. It was written based on the idea of transference of blame. And the whole idea is that the American idea of a person earning the right to benefit from their own hard work is null and void. And the transference of blame allows this to happen. And they throw broken bottles, tampons, Negro grievance, Leroy's Bender, Moshe's tears, some firecrackers, some Midwest burglars, some punks into the broth and stir. The transference of blame took the form of a Texas school book in which liberals were the enemy. It was coded to 4-4, April 4th, the day they did in Martin Luther King, which was the fourth letter of the alphabet, which stood for DD, which is the Library of Congress classification for Nazi Germany. It's a bra size. Hardy har har. You can hear Mel Gibson laughing with Bill Mazeroski out in Westmoreland County. And they have all the mechanisms of George Takei's Stand on the Bridge with Stephen King, who says we have to reduce the population. And he's not envious of He-Man. No, he's a brain man. And so on. And tap into the Elon Musk rocket ship to Mars with people who have out-harnessed, made it over the hurdle with Meg Nowen and Clint Eastwood of being brutalized with the stampede of lemmings who want to go out and smell the chemical from the derailment. And if you don't want to do that, Oliver Stone's going to hire Wagner to get you. So everybody is an Oscar Mayer winner again. Well, what the transference of blame means is that JFK was murdered by George Bush and Ian Fleming and Alan Dulles over a 12-year-old girl who was lusty and panting for something. And demand she had to have it. She got to have it. And she's going to get it. She sent out her machine. Brutal thugs, brutal armed, deadly Mansons to rope the Kennedy puppet so she could get it. And so he is now to blame for Michael Foucault's self-immolation. And he is to blame that Mignon Wen traffic jammed with copyright claims about John Lennon. Any attempt to warn peers or parents of potential peers of what they were getting into with the herd mentality of Carnegie Museum thieves hotwired to Donald Trump's majestic wardrobe, along with Mick Jagger down in Cuba and so on. The new Batistas.